Well, Thimbles is a sewing store. We sell sewing machines. We teach sewing classes. We have sewing supplies, fabrics, notions, and everything that you need to be a successful sewer and quilter.
We try to provide inspiration. So if someone's not quite sure what they want to do, they might get an idea just by coming in.
We have an excellent staff. We're knowledgeable. If you go to any other sewing store, you're going to find that if you ask a question about how much should I get to make a pillow or a pillowcase,
you may not even be able to find anyone to help you, but you may get a stumbler, someone that doesn't really know the answer to that question. After 15 years, we pretty much think we know everything.
And we also will give you a hard time, and we treat you like friends. We're the Cheers of the sewing industry,
where everybody knows your name.
Well, most of our customers do come quite a ways to get to us. We're a destination location. We've been featured in Better Homes and Gardens Top 10 Quilt Shop magazine. So many of our customers do travel to get to Lockport. When they get here, they ask what they can do. We send them down to the canal to walk along the canal. We send them to the Illinois State Museum, and we'll send them to a walk along the canal to get to the public landing. We have many restaurants. Embers across the street if they want something quick, nice atmosphere. If they want Italian, we send them to Mama Onesti's. We have all kinds of places for people to visit once they come to town.
Well, when we started out, we didn't really have much of any expertise, and we learned as we went. So in the beginning, figuring a backing for a quilt would put me into a sweat. And now we can do it without giving it a second thought. It's that many years of experience have taught us the answers to just about any question.
We have a large variety of classes. This weekend, for instance, we're having an event. We'll have 50 ladies upstairs learning about how to embroider on the sewing machine. They'll be making projects. They'll be sharing a lot of fun and laughs and prizes. We have clubs that meet. We have our what we call Thimbles Clubhouse, where we work on a quilt all year long, but we have a lecture demo. So they come in on one day a month, and we visit, and we do a show and tell, and we really
have refreshments, and we have door prizes, and we have what we like to refer to as the Jane and Tammy show, and also a little shameless self-promotion.
Other classes, we're doing a new class. We're just starting to get into garment sewing. We are a little behind on the 8 ball on that one, but we're really excited about our new garment club. We're calling it our garment support group. Get it? And that's going to be a free event that people can come to once a month on a Wednesday evening, anytime from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. We're going to support each other, help each other measure, get advice on how to put together your muslin, which is your rough draft, I guess,
mock-up
of clothing, and we're really excited about that. We have beginning quilting classes. This summer we offered beginning sewing classes, so you could come to one or come to all of 6 different classes. It was a 2-hour time frame where you make a simple project and you actually finish.
We also have serger classes for people to become familiar with how to use a serger, and we teach machine mastery classes. That is, if you purchase a machine from us, you get free classes on how to use it for as long as you need them.
We have classes on how to make purses, how to make pillows. We have embroidery classes. We're getting to the point where we don't have enough space on our calendar to hold our classes.
As well as AccuQuilt, which is a fabric cutting system. We have classes and clubs for that as well.
We do carry the top brands in the sewing industry. So with regards to sewing machines, we carry Baby Lock and we carry Bernina. Both of those have sewing machines that start in the $99 price point range, and they go up into the very high-end 6-needle industrial type machines or quilting machines that are more expensive. We have very high quality sewing machine cabinets. We carry Koala and
Unique Furniture.
Very nice brands. Unique Furniture is 100% solid oak built. The fabrics that we carry are name brands. We have Robert Kaufman. We have Free Spirit. We have Moda.
Timeless Treasures. Pretty much everything.
So we started, the way that we met was actually through Girl Scouts.
Our daughters.
Both of our daughters, we both have 2 daughters, and both sets of daughters were both in the same Girl Scout troops. So the little girls were in daisies together, and the big girls were in Girl Scouts, and before you knew it, Jane and I were
troop leaders,
right? And our big girls made it all the way through to high school in Girl Scouts. So we have quite a history together with Girl Scouts.
Our big girls actually take full credit for the existence of Thimbles, because had it not been for them, Tammy and I would not have met.
And they're not really big girls.
No, they're tall.
But now they're 26 and 24. But when our little girls went to kindergarten, Jane says, "Hey, we're going to have all this time. Why don't we take a sewing class?" So we started taking a sewing class, and we had so much fun. About a year and a half later, after we started taking our classes, we found out that the sewing store that we went to, our favorite sewing store, was getting ready to close its doors. And we went on what's called a shop hop, and that's where you go to different quilt shops in the area, and you get to visit all of the stores. And we were traveling all day long talking
nonstop about what it would be like for us to own a quilt shop.
And how much fun it would be. And by the time the trip was over, and by the end of the weekend, we were in a serious discussion between ourselves about really doing that. And we called the existing owner, and before you knew it, that was October. We closed on the business in December. And it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
We don't sit around and sew all day, that's for sure. Someone just asked me last week, well, you get to sew here, right?
No, we don't. We actually took, it's been a long time, but within the last year I've been sewing more quilts than I have in a long time. Made the little pirate quilt that's hanging up, and I made a little circle quilt. So I probably 2 quilts this year already.
Mostly we sew under pressure. So if we have to have something ready for our club meeting, that's, pretty much don't start it until the night before, because you don't want to rush into anything, but we sew under pressure. We do what we have to get done.
Right.
The difference between shopping here and shopping at, say, a big box store is the quality of our merchandise. We start with a different gray good for the fabric, so the designer fabrics that we get are better quality than what is sold in those stores. And more importantly, if you buy a sewing machine at a big box store and you have some difficulty with it and you're not sure how to use it, we can assure you there's absolutely nobody there that can help you. So we support our product and we educate on our product.
We like to think of ourselves as an education store and a fun store. So you're not going to come, most of the time, you're not going to come and just purchase product. You're going to learn something while you're here as well. And then we find that those are the classes actually that we fill more of, are the classes where they're learning a technique. So we really have found that people are looking for a community and a place that they can belong. We find that a lot of our visitors to the store come here to hang out. we will see somebody on the floor and, go into our office and come back a couple of hours later and find that that person is still here. They're visiting with the staff, or they found somebody else to visit with, or we've even had instances where the staff has invited customers to eat with lunch with them or order lunch in because they're here and they really just need a getaway and an escape. And they like to be around people that have the same interests as they do.
Additionally, in our clubhouse, we have a little over 140 members for the Thimbles Clubhouse, and we've been doing it for years. And there are people in club now that didn't know each other when they joined club and are now besties and go out for lunch right after the club meeting. So that is also building a community.
And they've even invited new members. So they might have a club meeting, and then all of a sudden you'll say, hey, you'll hear them say, do you want to join us for lunch? And before you know it, they have 10 or 12 people that are heading over to George's or Ember's, and they're having lunch, and then they come back afterwards and they visit and they shop some more. So they'll be here from 10 o'clock in the morning, sometimes until 12:30 or 1 o'clock after they have their lunch. So they're staying in Lockport for a little bit of time. So we are in one of the historic buildings in downtown Lockport. We're on the corner of 10th and State Street, and the building was built in 1875. It's limestone, and we occupy both the first and the second floor. The first floor is the shopping area. We have wood floors, original tin ceilings, and the second floor is where we hold our classes. So the upstairs is mainly one giant open space with tables and chairs and sewing machines, and that's where we have our club meetings.
We didn't acquire the second floor until some year after we opened. I don't remember when it was, but we used to have a tiny little classroom on the first floor, and then we brought in sewing machines, and we were really packed. So as soon as the first or the second floor opened up, we added that to our space. And we also have our sewing machine technician has a space upstairs where he does machine repairs and cleanings on all brands of sewing machines right here in the store. It is a great space for a quilt shop because of all the shelves and places to build our little displays and vignettes.
So one of the interesting facts about the building and about Thimbles is that we're actually only the third tenant that's ever occupied the space. So in 1875, it was a general dry goods store. It was a dry goods store. So I always think of Mr. Olson on Little House on the Prairie. And I believe that's probably where a lot of the shelves came from, and the sliding ladder on the back wall. And then after 15 years, Mr. Miller purchased the building and ran it as Miller's Dry Goods Store.
Miller's Ace Hardware.
And it was Miller's, and then it was Miller's Ace Hardware. And he had that business for 75 years. And there was 5 years after that where the building was refurbished, and then Thimbles moved in. So I think it's unusual for a building built in 1875 to only have had 3 different tenants in the building. We have a lot of people that come in and they say, wow, you know what, I remember coming in here when I was a kid. We had somebody come in and say, worked at Miller's, and they wouldn't remember the woman's name, and it escapes me, that sat up in the office, and how, she would just look over the top and make sure we were behaving because we were kids, and really some fun stories that come through. Very fun. We're really excited about the atmosphere that the city has envisioned for the downtown facade. Even in the back with the alley, our alley's been updated. We're just really pleased with that. We were talking with the construction men this morning and yesterday about, they just dug out our area in front where they're going to
sidewalk that had a vault underneath it, and then it rained yesterday and it filled with water, and Tammy texted me last night and said, we got a moat.
And so the men yesterday said, so when you don't like the hole, it's our hole, but when you do like the hole, it's your hole. So we thought that was fun, but we've had fun with the guys, and we're really looking forward to completion.
It's going to be so nice.
We will probably continue to focus on classes. We'll continue to focus on education. hopefully will continue to be fun, and our staff will be fun, and we'll all have fun together. But we were just talking about the need for expanding into more classroom space, because it just, like I said, our calendar fills up so quickly that we are really having a hard time finding space for what we want to do.
So if a vacancy becomes available on the block, we might consider expanding.
You got it?
We have a website. It's thimblesquilts.com, and it lists a calendar with all our upcoming classes. There is some product available, and you can sign up online for a class, even if it's the middle of the night.
Facebook, we do have Facebook. You can find us at Thimbles Quilts, and there is an S on the end of Thimbles and on the end of Quilts. You could also call us. We're always happy to help. We do have a technician that's on staff. He's here twice a week, and a lot of times we find that the problem with your sewing machine isn't so much that it needs to be repaired, it's that you're not doing something correctly. The bobbin's not in correctly, the needle's not in correctly, and sometimes you could bring your machine in and we could help you right here on the floor.
Sometimes we can answer your question right on the phone.
And our phone number is 815-836-8735.
We purchased an existing business, and it was Thimbles Incorporated. We needed to incorporate under a different name, so we tried to think of a quilt block name that sounded right to us. Crazy House is the name of a quilt block, and it sounded pretty much perfect for us.
So that's what Crazy House Incorporated is, our incorporated name, but we do business as Thimbles because we did like the name, and we just loved the name.
Yeah.
We have an exceptional staff. Our longest, I don't want to say our oldest staff member.
Our employee that's been with us the longest has been with us for 14 years.
And she is a long arm quilter, so that means she takes the quilts to her home and she actually does the quilting, joining the front, the back, and the middle of the quilt together. She does that at home. We also have Joyce that we're very grateful to have. She has a number of classes that she teaches. She has a following. She's actually been published in a new book that's getting ready to come out. Mary works with us also. She's been with us a couple of years, and she handles a lot of the administrative work. We have Kathy, that is our baby lock specialist, Sherry, and Kay, and then Joe is our technician. And Joe, we're very blessed to have. He has been servicing sewing machines for over 25 years, and he actually got his start at the Bernina technical department in Aurora, and that's Bernina USA. So did I forget anybody? Donna works with us part-time as well. I think that's everybody. And